I'll call the meeting to order. Join me in the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have the agenda before us. What's your pleasure?
So moved, we approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and support to approve the agenda. I'm sure under manager's comments, we may have some questions. So, other than that, we're ready to vote. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The agenda is approved. So now we have the issue of the minutes of the last meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a support to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Any additions or corrections? If not, all in favor of the motion to approve the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The minutes are approved. So we now will take up the bills. So let's do accounts payable first and then we'll do the payroll.
All right, I move we approve the accounts payable dated August 7th for a total of $674,732.77.
Okay, and that includes the EFTs too.
Yep.
All right.
Second.
A motion for Mark and support for Mike to approve the bills. Total of $674,732.77. Any questions on the bills?
What is help net?
It's a benefit that we have where if somebody has issues, they can give them a call, and it's kind of like
I've had it for
mental
like 30 years.
counseling, and
It's an employee,
Huh.
EAPE, it's employee relation program or something like that. And it's a source for if they feel like they need additional help, at work and at home, they can call and get guidance on how to.
Can't your kids go to bed, you call
That's a problem, I
Yeah.
guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it's emotional strain, you feel like you need
All
some
right.
counseling.
So is, question, is this something we pay for this service on a monthly basis?
Yearly.
Or is it, it's just a
Yeah.
yearly?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a one-time a year payment.
Mm-hmm.
And then they provide support to any of our employees whenever they need it.
Well, that's pretty inexpensive.
Mm-hmm. It's not, yeah.
That's a good question, Mike, because I wondered the same thing. So the brine, does that pretty much cover all of the first go around on the brine? Thought there was a sizable bill.
Yeah, that and some.
Okay,
I can cover that on my.
all right. Well, then, clearly we have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any other questions? We'll proceed to vote then. All in favor of paying the bills, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. They're approved.
already been signed.
I'm not sure that that one has all three on it. Maybe just has,
No, this don't have.
no, it
You
doesn't have Mark on
And
it.
then me on there, these do.
Yeah. Oh, hey,
There, that should handle everything.
yep, okay. Now we have the payroll. I hear a motion to approve the payroll.
So,
Support.
Okay, so I have a motion from Mike and support from Mark to approve the payroll for $136,025.78. Any questions? All right, all in favor of approving the motion to pay the payroll, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, it's approved.
You gotta sign that one, Mike.
I think we're gonna sign that one, yeah.
Yep.
This one was done.
That one's done. Don't have as many to pass around.
So I think, we've got time to do the treasurer's report before the bid opening.
Beginning cash and investment balance is $2,659,348.15. Total receipts is $832,132.30. Total in bills and payroll is $816,008.55. CD reserved for 2 trucks is $684,954.91. And outstanding accounts payable is $451.13.
Okay. Any questions
Yeah,
on the
you
treasurer's
said-
report?
You said the ending fund balance? was-
No, I didn't say ending fund balance. I said I didn't highlight it on my form. Ending available fund balance is $1,990,516. Oh my gosh.
How about,
You got me all
why don't you
messed up.
start over on that one?
$1,990,516.99.
Okay.
I skipped my line.
I
Crossed it off.
was reading that, and I thought, what she's coming up with is different than what I got here.
It's just a test.
Okay,
Then
just
I
see if I
couldn't
was
say-
awake or not, okay.
Any other questions?
Oh,
All right, thank you for the treasurer's report. What do we have, about 5 minutes?
public comment.
Okay. Yeah, do we have any public comment, Doug? None? All right. Bob, you got any?
I can roll until it's time to.
Yeah, why not,
All right.
go ahead.
All right, so the crew's been out doing quite a bit this past couple weeks. As far as our ditching and deburring projects, these are really the ones left over from 23 and 24 that we're still trying to catch up to. Riker Road is complete, other than we still have to go out and hydroseed the areas where we dug up. Hakes Road, they're working on currently. I would have to say it's probably another week or so, and we can have Hakes Road done. I'll take care of those two
For 23.
for, those are both 23s? Okay.
And then 23 will be done.
Okay. As far as our paving, our crews are, they're gonna be, down to Burt Road for all the contracts that we have. We've got Burt Road, that they need to patch, and then we'll switch over and go to some of our primary roads, which will be some parts on Camden, Lilac, and Territorial. So those will be some paver patchings that we're gonna try to heal in some more spots. Then we're gonna switch over to chip seal, seal coat, whichever you wanna call it. They started, well, actually, they did
They're
start on
doing
Monday.
chip seal, and then after they get done chip seal, they're going back to burnt and then those primaries.
Yes, yes. So right now, on Monday, they started chip seal and Osseo. And so they did Beecher Road and all the streets in Osseo. And then they'll move on to, they're going Gay Road, Brown Road, North Adams Road. When those are done, we'll switch over to fog seal all of them. At that point, they'll be able to switch back to paving and do those paving jobs. But that's where we're at with them right now. As far as the state crews, we're working on the second round of mowing for the state. We're trying to, if we're anywhere we can, get the regular mowing and at least another 1 to 2 with the swing arm, rows. And so we're trying to beat back some of the brush out there on the state trunk lines, and before the end of the fiscal year, the 1st of October for the state, to get some of that worked up. Some of the other stuff, we've had crews out coal patching as normal. All of our gravel and limestone patching are complete, other than Moscow Township. That's the donated stone from Stone Co. We still have to spread theirs, and then once we spread that, we'll take our tank truck and brine where that was laid. And so, in regards to your question on the brine, some of that, because it's more than years past, one, we've got all the brine for the first round done. We're actually starting the second round, but we also had our tanker out there following in addition to that, where in years past we didn't have that.
Sure.
And so he's actually laid quite a bit of brine to cover up that stone or limestone that we've been spreading, but I think it's worked out good. I think the roads are looking better. I think the townships now residents are, because we don't have that dust problem. So that's where some of that extra brine came from, and we recognized that when we decided to do that. So, after last meeting, we went for a ride. We went and looked at that Cox Road washout area. It was washing gravel into this guy's driveway. He even cemented a kind of a speed bump in front of his place to try to get the water and the gravel to not come down into his garage area. They're still washing out there, so we went in there and yesterday, I think, and we basically covered that area with millings and brined it real good to get it to lock down. And he was out there and he was tickled and he thought it was the greatest thing. So he's like an 83-year-old guy that he's tired of having to shovel all that gravel back out onto the road off of his driveway every time.
Where was this located?
It's at Cox and Beach.
Is this
Reading.
It's in Reading.
Reading Township?
Down the lake.
So it's a funky little area that we'd already put millings on the other 2 hills, and he was kind of in the bottom of the hill and the road to come off, and everything just washed right into his. And so we put millings on all that and shaped it a little bit to, one, try to turn the water away from him, but then it's not going to wash gravel into him. And he said, I'll deal with water. He said, but I can't shovel this gravel anymore.
Yeah.
And so I think we got that fixed yesterday, and
He's in a
very
poor spot. He's in a poor spot.
Yeah. He that lives in a hole gets the water.
Right.
Yep.
But anyway,
Water seeks its
he
own
was-
level.
he was tickled, and so
Good.
I think we've got that one taken care of. Brush spray for this year is going to start probably next week. We're going to be in the northeast quadrant of the county, and last year we did the southeast, and we're going to every year go around. So every 4th year we'll hit that same quadrant.
You said northeast?
Yes. So they're going counterclockwise. We started in the north or southeast. We went northeast. Now move over and come down.
It's 10:16.
10-16 bids.
Oh, okay. Well, I can stop there.
Well, we gotta open up the bids.
How many do we have?
Well, so I'm going to explain that too. We got 2 sealed bids here. Apparently we had a company just called and asked to send us electronic version, and we declined them. And so, because the bid was supposed to be sealed and delivered by 10, or 10:15. So just so you know, there was a third one that wanted to submit one, but they didn't follow the rules. So this one here is from Owl.
Oscar Larson.
Yeah.
Comes, we call it a whole.
OWL.
Phoenix Environmental sent a bid in electronically. You said they could, they are the ones that came out and
I
looked
did
at.
not say they could.
Okay, well Heather wanted me to let you know.
Which one was that?
Phoenix Environmental. And they sent a, email to you at 10:13.
Well, cutting it close.
So, again, there's a second one that tried to send electronic.
The rules are the rules.
So who is this one from, your opening?
Ow.
This is Owl.
Oscar Larson.
Ah,
Let's see here. Okay, so I'm not sure how you got it broke out there, because they didn't break it out by, it's just gonna be a total amount. They include, maybe mark them off, the 2 Wayne Select Series dispensers, 4-hose kit with breakaways. Okay, so 2 dispensers, 1 master dispenser with 1 satellite dispenser, so that's the diesel pump with the satellite.
okay.
They put in the 2 28 by 40 canopies, the DEF tank and system, the fuel island terminal, which is the card reader, the system that tracks everything. I got removal of the old stuff. What other?
You got it. We got the only thing left is the monthly service fee.
Okay, then it's down here too. So for all that, their quote is $330,165. Then their ongoing monthly service fee for the fuel system is $135 a month. Optional electric equipment replacement. Do we have optional? Okay.
So do we have any information of where is this company from, and do they service any other facilities like what we're looking at, in our area? Do they have any references?
Well, let me see here.
I've heard of them.
They are out of Clarkston, Michigan. They've been doing this for 79 years. Let's see if they've added anything for like references or. They're good. Their bid's good for 120 days. I don't know if that's. And services.
So they give you a total for everything.
Yeah,
Yes, that was-
330,
Yeah.
165.
So they do say company, departments that they've worked with, there's the Washington County Road Commission.
So the 331
They're a national,
departments are
they're a
total.
national company.
Yeah, 330,165.
And it
Alright.
reflects this,
Right.
and this,
Alright,
everything except the one canopy.
alright.
And that's about what I can find on this one.
They're mostly eastern end of it. Mercer's more around here.
And I know the Mercer name I hear frequently.
Okay, the next one is from R.W. Mercer. So they're out of Jackson. Okay, so they've included all the installation of all the stuff, the canopy. Again, they have the two 28 by 40 foot canopies. Dispensers and fuel management. So they, again, got the two dispensers, the one satellite for the diesel, the fuel management system, the DEF tank. Is that all
What's RNL? One RNL?
the, regular no lead.
Okay, sorry. I was like, it's might be a girl
That's the
question.
tank. Either the diesel or regular no lead.
Okay.
Gasoline versus diesel.
There we go.
Alright, so their total sum is $304,716. Their prices are firm for 30 days.
What's their monthly service?
Let's see if I can find it.
Maybe it's free.
Call them off.
I doubt that. And so their stuff, and I don't know if I'll say anything, their stuff would be a Atlas system and a Gas Boy, well, they're both Gas Boy, but an Atlas pumps and a Gas Boy Highlander Prime card reader is how you track your fuel. Let me go back and see.
You know, they're already, what, about $26,000.
Okay, their ongoing monthly service fee is $179.
Yeah, they're a little higher on that, but
Do you need anything else to compare? Okay. They do have references are
everybody.
Nicole Golich, which is the Deputy Director for Dearborn, Lenawee County Road Commission, Fleet Manager for St. Joseph County, they've been in business since 1960. I think that's about all the pertinent information.
Right? So what is your recommendation?
Well, based on that, not only just low bid, but we have dealt with Mercer, I think here for many years. I've dealt with Mercer at other places for many years. I've never had an issue with them, so I wouldn't have an issue recommending that the board approve Mercer.
Do we want to approve this now or wait for the full board?
That's your pleasure.
No, my pleasure would be we approve it now. I'll even make the motion.
Okay,
Second.
so I have a motion and a support that we award the bid to R.W. Mercer Company for the fuel system upgrade. So a question I have is, do you have any idea how soon they could start on this?
From just general discussions with both of these two, they were talking within weeks and they would take a week or two to do. So,
Well, it's
the other
something,
thing, we gotta have this before winter, before we
Yeah.
start plowing, cause we can't afford these pumps to go bad on us
No,
right,
in the middle of winter, so.
I think that's another reason for going ahead and approving now rather than waiting another 2 weeks.
but I
It's
thought
time to get moving on it.
maybe we would want the other members' input, but if not, we would go ahead with it.
Well, I tend to think that at least one of those members would want a little bit, yeah. And I think we all know who that is.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, but
Bob's a stickler.
yes, he is.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
The only comment I guess I would have with that is both companies, bid on the two canopies. I'd really prefer one solid canopy, but they both put NA on that cost. So I would like the opportunity to discuss, if whoever you award it to discuss changing from the two canopies to one solid.
But we don't know how much that difference in cost.
No, and I guess if it's elaborate, then I would say go with the two.
Well, it really shouldn't be too much because you're looking at two 28 by 40s and one 72 by 40. I mean,
You're still talking
What do we got now?
nothing.
Nothing.
We got,
Yeah, open sky. Yeah.
Okay.
So you still have you're still gonna have 4 posts, you know, like actually, you'd have 8 posts, like 2 on this side and 2 on this side with the gas pumps in the center,
yeah,
and then 2 on this side, 2 on that side with the gas pumps. If you did one, I think they would get away with 3 down each side, so you'd have 6 posts instead of 8 out there. But
And in terms of square footage, I think that's what Mark's,
it's the
What
same.
comment?
It's the same square footage.
Yeah.
You're just closing in between the two.
Yeah.
It's the same width, same.
Makes sense.
And we gave them drawings for both. But I would just say I would like to entertain discussing that with the bid award winner.
Yeah.
That what it would take to change that. But
That's fine.
so do I wanna make an amendment to my motion to have the manager discuss with the winner or the R.W. Mercer Company, the canopy for 72 by 40?
I would think we need to.
I mean, my thought would be we could just give Bob that authority, and if for
I would
some
say if it
reason,
goes over, like, I guess I can sign 15,000, or is it 10? If it goes over that, no matter what, I would let you know, but if it goes over that, I think that needs to come back to you guys for a
Yeah.
yay or nay.
for approval,
Okay.
I'm good with that. All right. We'll proceed to vote then on awarding the fuel system upgrade per motion to Mercer Company. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It's approved. Now we'll go back to manager, continue with his report.
Alright, so kind of back to Day Road. We're trying to, we're attempting to fall under the Drain Commission's authority and permit to do the tube on Day Road. We sent the letter to the Drain Commission, he signed off on it, we signed off, we checked with McChrysip, they were good with it. So we sent it to Eagle to say, okay, if we do this, are you gonna be good with us falling under the Drain Commission's exemptions? We haven't heard back from them yet, but, and if we do, that'll be a good test to see if we can't do that more in the future. That hopefully would speed things up, fall under his permitting, and we don't have to go through Eagle as much if it deals with the drain and it falls into the right categories. Let's see, where was I at? So did the brush spray.
You're on Hunters.
Okay. So as far as Elm Road, still in the holding pattern. We called Eagle again yesterday, left a message. Haven't got any update from him yet. Buckeye Road, west of Bird Lake Road, culvert, and the Somerset Road, north of Stewart Road structure. CEI is working on the design engineering for those structures, and we're just waiting for them to submit that so we can move forward with those. Federal aid projects this year are the Concord, Herring, and Jonesville roads. Concord Road is complete, other than they still have to do the gravel shoulder. The paving's complete. They got to do the shoulders and paint and all that kind of stuff. But so the spot milling and paving are complete on Herring and Jonesville. So we had a couple spots we had to spot mill and pave those in, and then they'll come back and lay the 2-inch on top of all those. So the spot milling and paving's done on both of those, and they placed one lane on Jonesville Road to Cronk Road, approximately to the railroad tracks. They'll be paving the remainder of that stuff tomorrow and probably even Friday. They've got until the original completion date is August 16th, so they're pushing up against the. We talked with the contractor yesterday. They've experienced a lot of rain on a bunch of their projects, not necessarily here, but we're in line with their projects. I believe they submitted for an extension to MDOT for those other things, which then could flow into an extension here. So, and we'll wait and see what MDOT approves their extension, then probably we'll need to approve an extension of some sort to here. If they don't, we probably won't either. So, and liquidated damages would start as soon as that extension ends or their contract sets. They still say no matter what, they'll still have it definitely completed sometime next week. So it's not going to be a long.
Not like it's a month down the road.
Yeah, no, it's like instead of the 16th, it may be the 23rd.
Yeah.
I mean, so not a big deal. We've got a request to give an estimate to pave Lenore Drive.
That's in Wright Township on Lime Lake.
Yep, that's a private drive, and so we're working with them next week to tell them what they need to do, and because they gotta really do their own stuff for the private drive. If it's ours, then we will help them take care
So
of
I
it.
have a question in regards to that. I was at Wright Township board meeting a month ago when this gal came in there and first presented this idea, and of course, the township board there's never been involved in a private assessment district, you know, for a road. But of course, I know, you know, that this has been done in Amboy Township and it's been done in Somerset Township and maybe even some other places around the county over the years. And Brent happened to be there and he quickly looked it up in the computer and he gave them, both the township board and this gal, he gave them reference in the statute, you know, the process you go through. But the question I have is, so you got Lenore Drive goes from Lime Lake, or from Prattville Road back to a T, and then it goes each way from there. So are they talking about doing just the strip from Lime Lake, or from Prattville Road back to where it tees, or are they talking about then going each way from the T as well?
Well, I think they're talking a little bit of both, and so
Yeah.
I think Heather's doing up an estimate to show both, but it sounds like they may be just going to the T and not doing the legs that go off.
Cost ways, it might be too much to do.
Yes, and so she says she's working with them and she's gonna get them that estimate or the papers that they need next week. So that's kinda in the works, is to try to help them out there.
Is this eventually going to be turned over to the county road system and certified mileage and all that?
That's a whole different ball of wax, but it could be, if as long as it's, built to our standard, which if we're giving them the estimate, hopefully
It
we're
should be built to our
given
standards.
our standards, it wouldn't be hard to do. But that's a whole different process.
That's in the future.
There is a tube, at least one tube that goes under that drive. It's closer to the T than it is Prattville Road.
Then it's already starting to come down to the T.
And the property owner on the west side of the road, he's complained to me numerous times. He's got a field there and that floods and that water can't get away very fast. And the east side of that tube, the thing has gotten all boogered up and the water can't get away from it. I
wanna say that tube is gonna be part of the estimate to
Yeah,
replace it.
yeah, I'm glad to hear that, because, just my eyeballing it, I don't think the tube is low enough.
And even if it was just boogered up, or if we're going in to redo, or a contractor's going in to redo it, you don't wanna go in and pave something, have a tube fail on you
Right.
5 years later.
Right.
So as long as you're in there, put a new tube in, make sure everything's good, and that'll all be part of the
Okay,
estimate.
glad to hear that.
Alright, moving on, the pavement marking, should start a little bit later this month. We'll be painting all the roads in the southwest corner of the county, and all hub routes, and all the chip seals from last year, and, all the projects that we do this year. So, any of the new things that anything that got covered up because of our projects will get painted, the southwest quarter, and all of our hub roads. And then, of course, all the special markings get done every year.
How soon do you expect that to start? Next week?
Next week, probably.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see, our tree contract as of the 9th, which is the end of last week. The company has a few more trees and stumps to complete that need flaggers, so it wasn't something they could just send a crew in, take it down and get out of there. They're gonna actually have to put flaggers out to protect everybody. But they're planning to have them wrapped up by the end of the month. So I think they're doing pretty good with all the work that they're doing. I haven't had any complaints of, messing up yards, or, some people call and ask, hey, they left the stump, because there's a different crew coming behind them that takes care of the stumps.
Right.
And then if need be, we bring topsoil and stuff for it, so. So I haven't had any big complaints over how they're doing things, so it's good. The mowing contractor began again Monday on the 11th to start the second round of mowing. They started in the same place they did on the first round, which is the Wright Township and half of Ransom, or half of Amboy, I mean.
Yeah.
They're gonna move up 2 townships like they did, move over and go down 2 townships. We did give them new maps this year, or this round, based on, we took off all the subdivisions. So there's no question as to, we already colored in the subdivisions, like they're already mowed, don't touch them. And that should speed them up and have less mileage, so it should drop the cost also. So I would expect, the first round, it took them 5 weeks. By taking the subdivisions off, I would think they could shave it down to 4 weeks. So I'd say mid-September, everything else will be mowed, the second time.
They've started that this week, didn't
Yes.
they? I mean, I saw
Yep.
some roads coming in here this morning with the
Yep.
paved.
Our guys have still been out,
Second time.
because they're
Yeah.
cutting that first cut. We're cutting like a second and a third with the boom mower.
Yeah.
And so they've made some pretty good ground with that, and so we're kind of beating the brush back a little bit. And
As far as the mowing goes, I think the roads, the ditches look the best I've seen them look in years.
I think
they
No
look really
question.
Yep.
And I got some really good comments last night from Camden, at their Camden Township Board meeting. There was a couple spots there on Crawford Road, Long Lake Road, a couple of others where you've got some big Ys down in that corner of the county. And, our people hadn't got back out there to do the Ys prior to their meeting a month ago, and I heard about it. I talked with Kevin, and within 2 or 3 days, we got people back out there, and they were very grateful. They said it looks the best it's looked in years.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
And if we can stay on this kind of cycle of the mowing and our guys out there doing it, and then the brush spray, and if the brush spray can go every 4 years, and you start beating this brush back and keeping it down,
yeah,
that's where you wanna be, so.
yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully we'll keep that cycle going in the future, and
I
hopefully
think
that'll be an issue that,
This mowing contract has been a good thing for us.
I think so.
Yeah.
I've had a couple more contractors call and say, hey, we're interested in doing it. I'm like, well, next time we put out for bid, we'll
Yeah.
send it to you, thanks for the information, but, and so we've got a list like every other bid that if there's contractors that wanna be notified, we'll notify them directly along with posting, and so he's on the list now, so. I think they're actually out of Ohio somewhere, but they do Ionia and Eaton, I think, a couple counties like that, but.
Where's the
Anyway.
guy from who's doing it now?
What's that?
What?
Alan is who's doing it now, isn't it?
From, Jablonski?
Yeah,
Yes, I believe so.
Allian?
He does a lot of
yeah, they cover a lot.
counties. He used to even do Jackson, but yeah, they've done a lot, and I think they do a good job.
Yeah, they do.
So the stump drain, Slarski's plans on beginning work and closing M99 on August 18th, so Monday. It'll be closed through mid-November. I believe that one is, detour is,
Bert,
Burt to
Bird Lake.
Lake, or Bird Lake to
Yeah.
Camden.
Yeah.
We've been working with, Gherkin, cause they got their pit there, and normally when their trucks come out, they've got signs that tell their trucks they have to go south out of their pit. And so they gotta go south, and we've talked with them, they're gonna go south, go to Camden, come back over to Bird Lake and bring Bird Lake up for that detour route, instead of coming north out of their, turning left out of their drive and coming down, all the way down, that little bit of dirt and then coming down Burt. Cause we're gonna pave that other mile of Burt, and we don't really want all their trucks running on that fresh.
Yeah.
And so they've said they don't have a problem with that, and they're gonna see what, and we might even put a sign up on Burt before you, when you gotta make that turn for Bird Lake, just to say trucks or no trucks past this, just direct the trucks to get them to go around the detour like that, cause the township's a little afraid the trucks are gonna try to go over the new mat or go over the new mat and go to the next paved road or something. So if we can do something with signage to try to direct them to help that. The township actually wanted us to hold off on paving Burt Road until after the detour is done. We recommended against that and said that we need to go ahead and pave it because one, the detour is gonna go until November, and we can't pave, or we're not gonna pave 15 November, which means that it probably goes into next year. So now it has a chance of this traffic beating it up and breaking it up even worse, and then not getting paved until the next year, going through another winter. If that happens and that road gets beat up or tore up from the traffic before we can pave it, there's no overlay that's gonna save it.
No.
That's gonna be a pulverize and then repave, and it's gonna be way more money than they can afford.
Yeah.
So we're still recommending, and they weren't real happy, but I think they understood that we're gonna go ahead and pave it, and we'll just keep an eye on.
Would there be any recourse from MDOT?
We could, and then you've got a brand new mat, and all of a sudden you break up a brand new mat, we can go down and say, okay, brand new needs to be brand new when you're done. So that would actually help us if you, kind of like the old argument, if it's the road's a 4 and you beat it up, now it's a 3, you can't put it back to a 4. So that's the argument that you have trying to get roads fixed because somebody damaged it. You can't put it back to where it was, cause it was crappy where it was. So I think that would actually give us a leg up if we had to argue with MDOT over damage, cause it's a brand new mat, so.
So have we gone out and taken a look at that intersection of Bird Lake and Burt? Because I'm still concerned about, semis turning at that corner, that southwest corner. The way that thing lays and everything.
We looked at it, I think if nothing else, we gotta get hold of MDOT too, but I think we can fill in part of that just to like extend that corner out a little bit.
Yeah.
And that won't be difficult, but. Anyway. We put out, like requests for quotes through, and we're talking with MDOT. We're gonna have extreme milling, which they're the ones that have been doing all the milling for us here lately anyway. Pulverize some spots, the profile mill down at US 12 and M49, where that's all getting pushed up. So for this year, we're gonna have that mill go in and just profile mill, try to smooth it out. That's all we're gonna do. And then hopefully MDOT can get it in their system too, and they wanna tear that out and make that whole intersection concrete. And that way there's nothing to push.
Right.
So this is just gonna be a kind of a smoothing out fix, just to keep people from bouncing up to the intersection. At the same time, they're gonna go down US 127, and they're gonna do a bunch of spot millings that have been identified. They're just spots throughout there that they're gonna mill, and then they'll get repaved. That's just some of the joints that are heaving and just well, actually, no, that was just profile milling, sorry. So we're just milling off those humps where it heaved and try to smooth things out on 127 within that. They're just kind of projecting that'll just be later this fall when they're gonna do that. Lake Pleasant and Tamarack, again, extreme milling is gonna pulverize. Lake Pleasant Road between Tamarack and Squawfield, and Tamarack Road between Lake Pleasant and M99. We just feel that those are too far gone. We've already spread millings on them just to make them drivable. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna spread some gravel on top. The mill's gonna come through, grind it all up, mix it all together, and it'll be turned back to a gravel road. If at some point they wanna improve it back to a paved road, then we'll work out something then, but it's probably just gonna stay a gravel road.
So which roads for these again?
Tamarack, Lake Pleasant Road between Tamarack and Squawfield.
Yeah.
And then Tamarack Road between Lake Pleasant and M99.
Yeah.
It's about 1.5 miles-ish total. And so those are gonna get ground up and turned back to gravel. We're mixing in enough gravel, putting gravel on top, and we'll probably do it a few days ahead of time. We're gonna spread gravel, knock it down with a grader, smooth it out, and compact it a little bit so the traffic can run on it. And then the mill will come through and just grind it and mix it all together, and it'll sweeten the millings up enough where we can still grade them, and they won't lock down as hard as like regular, just pure millings. So it's gonna cost us our time to do it and the gravel. And then we also told the township, if in the future you're gonna do anything with this road, what we put into it here with time and effort and equipment and material is gonna be our match in that next project or whatever. Is it ever gonna happen? Probably not. But
Well, this happened a number of years ago now on 2 miles of Gilbert Road. I don't know if you remember that, Mike.
Yep.
This is probably 10, 15 years ago. Gilbert Road there's 2 miles that was blacktop from Camden Road north to Prattville Road. And so that 2 miles, now is gravel, but it's a very good gravel road.
Yep. And I think they did the same thing. They added gravel too when they mixed it up. It's a good base. It's a good road.
I know it happens.
Branson Township?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So they, like I said, they really can't afford to do a whole lot.
No.
We're out there maintaining it all the time, so this was gonna make it a lot easier on us too. So,
Well, and the two stretches we're talking about are bad enough that from a liability standpoint, this is the right thing.
they were bad enough that we had to spread millings on it just to smooth them out, just to,
Yeah.
cause there was nothing we could do with that.
Yeah.
All right, so just so you know, that's that one. Let's see here. We do still have Albright contractors, going around fixing some of our bridges. After our last bridge inspection, they gave us a list of, this bridge needs, spalling taken care of on the guardrail, or this needs, and they call out what the bridge needs to be repaired. So Albright is the contractor that is going around fixing them. I think they've got 4 or 5 of them done. They've got like 5 left. So they seem to be going around doing a good job of getting them done. And when they get them done, they let us know if we need to change the weight restrictions or whatever. Then we go ahead and do that. But just they're still out there working and fixing certain bridges. So, and I believe, well, I guess one last thing. I went to the county board meeting this past week. And I didn't really talk at the board meeting, but afterwards I got with which one was that?
Not me.
No,
Right.
Benzing, yeah, Commissioner Benzing, about the tower that's in Bundy Hill. Because apparently with the new 800 megahertz system, they don't need that anymore. They leased the ground that it's on. It's a 1 acre block. They leased that, I guess it's like $1 a year for 25 years. They just did it like 2 or 3 years ago. So technically the lease on the land is probably still there, and if push comes to shove, we could probably pay the county $23 and take over the lease or something. But the tower that's on it is theirs. The county owns the tower. So it's a matter of whether the county would give us the tower, because we still have our radio on it. Or whether we'd have to buy the tower or whatever, but I guess this is like a year out or so it's nothing like right
Where's this
now.
at?
On Bundy Hill. It's right next, if our pit's sitting there, and our pit's like, it's the 1 acre right next to our pit.
Right.
So if it was like in our pit, it would be okay, but I guess just more to come on that. I was just informational that we're gonna have to probably look at something there as to how that plays out. I don't know.
But we need
the tower for our repeater. So unless we put up a new tower or find a new place to put our repeater, I know Somerset Fire Department has a tower that's fairly close, but it's not as high. The one there's up on the hill about as high as you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one would work, or whether they've got space, or what they would charge. So if
Maybe
we
the
can
county
figure
will
out,
just give it to us.
well, that's what I hope.
This is the first I've heard about it, so
Okay.
I do not know.
Okay.
And I don't know what Commissioner Benzing's comments were.
Well, I mean, his comments was, I don't see why we can't just give it to the road commission. Other than that, you're gonna pay somebody to take it down.
Right.
And so, if it works out to where we take control of it, we pay the lease or whatever, we leave our radio on it and everything's good. But, just so that you know, that's out
Something
there.
in the future.
But I guess it's like, he said that's gonna be like something in a year or so down the road, because they're still working out all the stuff for the 800 megahertz. Yeah. With that, I think I'm done. Got any questions?
So
Oh, I did miss one.
the tube on Frontier Road, south of Burt Road, we had talked about making that sort of like a joint project with the drain commissioner. But I think that may just sort of be on hold till we see what happens with the Day Road project in
Yes.
Eagle.
Yes, we're hoping they approve what the drain commissioner has sent them, this is what he needs to do, and this is what he would like us to do. If they approve that, then we can use that as a template to use in other drain issues, as long as the drain commissioner is doing a project and doing work outside the right of way.
Yeah.
It sounds like it could go, but we wanna validate with Eagle and make sure they're good with it, and then we'll move forward.
And then also, I think it's, what road is it? It's Harmon Road and which other,
Oh, the intersection they want raised?
yeah,
Okay, so I went to the township meeting last night, and discussed it with them and told them I feel we're gonna hold off or not do that contract until we see what happens with the drain commission. They weren't real happy, but I told them I wasn't comfortable, cause the plan was to bring in that, fill dirt and add 2 foot and then top it with a foot of gravel to try to raise the roads there in that intersection up.
Harmony Road?
Frontier.
Frontier. I told them I wasn't comfortable, and I took the total brunt, as said that, if we build that up 3 foot, and then you got a slant like that, and if it normally fills with water, I guess that whole intersection fills with water, and you filled that up, and then somebody gets off on the side and rolls over into that 3 foot of water,
Like,
we just created a liability for ourselves.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that's like that all over, there's a lot of steep banks everywhere. I'm like, yes, but we didn't create that, you know. We can't go out there and make a system or a thing that could turn out bad. Now we have talked about it amongst ourselves that I think might be a good thing too, as a minimum, go out there and we'll drive some delineators all the way around both of those, the intersections. That way somebody driving knows, okay, this is the road, even though it might be underwater and probably shouldn't be driving through it, but this is the road and I need to stay between it. And you get past that, that's where you've got the chance of, you know, falling off.
that's what Matt discussed with our meeting with him, that,
Yeah.
you know, you got a water problem, you gotta get rid of the water before you can.
And they're not willing to give any money to the drain commission. So I told him, I said, if I recall right on the meeting, Matt had said it would take him, 2 or 3 years using maintenance money to get
The
there.
job done.
And so a couple of them weren't happy. One of the board members was like, well, it's been like that for 30 years, what's another 3? I'll leave that to them, but I told them we were not gonna do the contract to raise the road this year, and I wanna wait and see what Matt can work out, whether he can get it done in 1 year, cause he was talking some option of doing that too. But I said until he can figure out the drain and get the water, there's really no point to raise it. And will it even need to be raised once the drain's done? So, but anyway, I think we'll go out there within the next week or so, drive delineators to at least show where the road is, and we'll have to play it by ear after that.
I'm in agreement with the position you took.
Okay.
You know, I was out there myself, just drove it, cause I really wasn't familiar with that intersection.
That's just a big bowl.
It is, yeah, it's a huge bowl. And in order to drain it, somewhere, he's gonna have to make a pretty significant cut through a hill.
It's already there, the drain's already there.
Yeah, but it's an old drain, it's an old,
But I think he wants to replace that drain and add grade to the elevation.
yeah,
Cause I guess it's a pretty deep at the end and it's flat.
yeah.
And so he wants to raise that and get it to flow better. But it's all underground. It's no surface water. Surface water can't get anywhere.
No, he can't get out of there.
Yeah. And so, but that was my call I made last night when I went and talked to him. And so you may be getting calls, but.
I think it's the right call.
The last thing I forgot to talk about was Monte Carlo and Sellers and East End, that whole area there.